Welcome to Bed Crime Stories Podcast. I'm your host, T, to my bed crimers. Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. To anyone new here, a warm welcome. Thank you for checking out the channel. Do me a favor, if after watching the video you find you enjoyed it or you learned something, smash that like button and please consider subscribing. And if you want to support the work I do, please consider a membership. I keep the price really low, $1.99 a month. Hey, that's much less than even one drink from Starbucks. Now, without further ado, let's dig in. Well, hello there. Hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to talk about a bump. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has its own lexicon of terms. In FBI speak, the first meeting between an agent and a potential informant is known as a bump. In 2016, 2 years into the investigation into Dan Markel's murder, which took place in July of 2014, the Tallahassee PD and the FBI had yet to make any arrests. In an effort to shake the proverbial tree and get some of the suspected co-conspirators speaking about the crime, law enforcement came up with a bump. This bump was designed to stir up some chatter between key players, including Charlie Adelson, his mother Donna, and Charlie's ex-girlfriend Katie Magbanua. It was April 19th of 2016. In South Beach, where Donna and Harvey Adelson were living in a 40-story tall waterfront condominium known as the Icon, there was a breeze blowing off Biscayne Bay. At approximately 1:45 p.m., Donna exited the Icon. She and Harvey had called that building home for 2 years. It was time to collect her two grandsons, 6-year-old Benjamin and 5-year-old Lincoln, from their elementary school, which was just across the street. Ben and Lincoln are Wendy Adelson and Dan Markel's sons. Now, this was Donna's standard behavior every weekday. Go and pick up the boys while Wendy was away at work as a law clerk for a federal appellate judge. On this Tuesday, Donna was rocking a casual look, a tank top with shorts and a black purse. She looked the epitome of a relaxed grandmother. First, she walked down the condo's expansive front concrete steps. Then she walked toward 4th Street. As Donna was walking, a stranger suddenly approached her, rather bulky and middle-aged. The guy went right up to Donna, definitely invading her space. He pretty much prevented her from moving past him. The dude had a brown goatee, and from the way he was dressed, he didn't appear to be a neighbor of Donna and Harvey in their posh neighborhood. The man said, "Excuse me, Mrs. Adelson." He mispronounced her name. "How you doing? I just want to give you this." And with that, he handed Donna a piece of paper. Donna then blurts out, "Who are you? You're scaring me." The man replies, "No, don't be scared. Listen, I just want to let you know that we know that your family has been taking care of Katie and her friend Tuto for quite some time after your problem up north was resolved. And I want to let you know that my brother, he's incarcerated. He helped your family with this problem you guys had up north. And we want to make sure that he's going through some rough times. And we want to make sure that you take care of what he's going through the way you're taking care of Katie and Tuto." Donna, seemingly dumbfounded, replies, "I don't know what you're talking about." The man then tells her that the paper he handed her will explain it all. And as quickly as he showed up, he turned around and walked toward 4th Street. Donna walked slowly behind him. She ends up stuffing the piece of paper in her purse without looking at it. I would imagine Donna's mind was racing at this point. She had to have known what the problem up north was that the guy was referring to. There had only been one problem up north: her former son-in-law, Dan Markel. Unbeknownst to Donna, The stranger was actually an undercover FBI agent named Oscar Jimenez. As Jimenez interacted with Donna, a van across the street videotaped the whole scene, and a small plane flew overhead at high altitude. It too was tracking the interaction. This is like a scene out of Goodfellas. FBI Special Agent Pat Sanford was in charge of the sting. Now, 12 days before the bump, Detective Craig Issam had obtained an order allowing wiretaps on the phones of Charlie Adelson and Katie Magbanua. So every conversation from that day forward had been recorded. The hope was that the conversations might reveal Charlie and Katie's ties to the crime and to the hitmen, Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera. When Donna pulled the piece of paper out of her purse later on at home, she saw that it was an article about the 1-year anniversary of Dan Markel's death, and written on the paper was a telephone number and the amount of $5,000. The FBI's ruse was designed to make Charlie and Donna believe that one of Luis Rivera's Latin King member brothers was trying to extort money from them. The note conveyed the message: either pay the money or you, meaning the Adelsons, will be reported to the cops, and or someone's going to get hurt. The investigators knew that Rivera was incarcerated, so they were confident that he wouldn't ruin the bump somehow. Now, as soon as Donna read this note, she called Charlie's cell phone, and because Charlie's phone was wiretapped, the investigators heard every word of the conversation. Take a listen to what Donna told Charlie and how he responded.
Charlie, I'm going to play for you call A. This is a call on April 19th, 2016, 2:09 p.m. It's the first call with your mom after the bump, okay?
Trying to manifest the work or some other time in the very near future, and you can use the secret.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did someone write a letter to you or something?
I heard some paperwork. Delivery.
You're being sued?
No, that's what I thought it was. I'm going to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay. So, you know, maybe have to figure out something. Can tell us wherever you go.
Well, I'm in Mitch Klein's office on Markel bar. So I'm right now in the Thailand Chile, and I'll be at his office in the afternoon.
The day we finish the piano lesson around 4-ish, and the traffic at the end will take a ride with them upstairs.
Did Dad know about this?
The dad at work today, fortunately.
What's, I can't, is it IRS?
You know, these IRS people, they kind of bother you sometimes, but fortunately not me.
Okay.
So I will talk to you. I'll give you a heads up if I'm going to drive up that way. Okay? And,
Just let you know that? Is it not like you?
No. So let me just talk to you later, and,
What is it? Is it a telescope test?
yeah.
Does it involve me or other people?
Well, probably both of them.
What's that?
Probably the two of them. So you probably have a general idea what I'm talking about.
Alright.
So let's just find some time to talk to each other and get the days going, okay?
You're going to take the wedding up there? So it's harder to talk to me today.
Or tomorrow,
Alright.
concerned that it would get up there and get back and clinical injuries and sometimes get out a little earlier.
Can I ask you a question? Whose paperwork has them?
I see them, it's great.
And is it right? Was it anonymous or?
Oh no, not anonymous. Not anonymous. I just don't want to discuss it.
Alright, whatever it is. I'm sorry, but okay, why would
I wouldn't bother you.
yeah, I know. You want me to come down to see you tomorrow? I actually have the day off.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Then actually for later tomorrow, you know, she goes in at 1 o'clock. We both work out at the gym from 9:30 to 2:30. So
whatever it is, I'll take a look at the paperwork.
Yeah.
I hope it's not the IRS, but I
just would like you to review it and give me some input as to what your thoughts are. Okay? So come down tomorrow, Dad leaves at 12, so anytime after 12 is good.
12 tomorrow.
And he leaves at 12, he stops at 1 there, so 12, 12:15.
I'll come down in the afternoon. I'm going to have to hang out with you.
That would be great.
Perfect. I'll talk to you later.
Let me come down.
It's easy to hear Charlie on that call. It's not so easy to hear Donna. Charlie asks his mother if it involves him or other people, and Donna responds, probably both of us. With that statement from Donna, the investigators now had some circumstantial evidence that Donna was basically admitting to being involved in the crime along with Charlie. After all, Donna had signed all of Katie Magbanua's paychecks for a job that she never performed. Eventually, Donna and Charlie agree to talk about the strange happening with this letter in person the next day, and they hang up. But just 20 minutes later, Charlie calls Donna back, and he says, listen, whatever it is, whatever someone sent you, I wouldn't worry too much about anything, end quote. Charlie assured Donna that he'd be over to see her the next day, and then Donna said, I'll make you take me out to dinner, so make sure you bring cash with you. Charlie replies, so I need to bring cash. Donna states, that's probably a good idea, right? This is when it appears to dawn on Charlie that someone may be trying to blackmail his mother. Charlie keeps badgering Donna with questions, despite her telling him repeatedly that they shouldn't talk about this stuff on the phone. Charlie can't seem to stop his mouth from running. It's clear during this interaction that both Donna and Charlie are concerned about what happened. If they weren't guilty of a crime, they, like anyone else, would have called the police, right? Eventually, mother and son hang up. Right after that call, Charlie calls his ex-girlfriend, Katie Magbanua, explains to her what happened to his mom earlier in the day. Charlie says, quote, I have no idea what this is in reference to, but something regarding her son, something regarding his ex-girlfriend, and the person is asking my mom for some money, end quote. Katie replies, what? And says, she, meaning Donna, should have called the cops or something, end quote. You get the feeling Charlie and Katie know not to say too much on the phone, that Charlie then says, quote, I don't even think she said who, end quote, meaning which one of his girlfriends. Charlie had dated at least 2 women after breaking up with Katie, but he knew darn well that if someone was trying to blackmail his family over something that happened up north, it had to be Katie. I mean, I think this is the only murder-for-hire plot that Charlie has ever been involved in. Charlie goes on to say that if the blackmailer's letter did mention Katie, then he would want to see her the next day. After that, they hang up. Then, at 3 p.m., Charlie calls his mother, Donna, a 3rd time. In this 3rd call, he instructs Donna not to talk about things in the apartment or any place else. Donna replies, oh, obviously. And in the background, you can hear Ben and Lincoln playing. Now, this is interesting because she's already breaking Charlie's rule because she was inside her and Harvey's condo talking to Charlie about this stuff. Charlie also tells his mother, quote, "Don't say anything to Dad until I take a look at it, because he'd fly off the handle," end quote. This is interesting because Charlie doesn't say, "Don't tell Dad because we can't let him know about any of this. He can't know about the crime." No, Charlie seems only concerned that if they tell Harvey about the bump, then Harvey will fly off the handle. This hints at Harvey being a very reactionary type of person, maybe someone with low emotional intelligence, someone who overreacts and maybe creates more of a problem when he's upset. You'll see by the end of this video that Donna is the cool cucumber in the family. Now, throughout this call, Donna keeps trying to speak in code, but Charlie, who would make a crap spy, blurts it all out. He says, "They want $5,000? Now, after hanging up from the third call with Donna, Charlie dials up Katie Magbanua once again at 4:27 p.m. During this call, Katie tells Charlie that she's scared, and she says, like, "Your mom must be like freaking out, like somebody effing framed her, like, hello." Katie suggests once again that Donna and Harvey call the cops. Charlie tells Katie he's going to see his mom in person the next day, and he'll try to confirm that the letter mentioned Katie by name. Charlie tells Katie that he wants to meet up with her in person to pick her brain either way because, quote, "You're like one of my best friends," end quote. At 1 p.m. the next day, Charlie and his mother meet at the edge of the marina. They're at a restaurant called Monty's, and it's not far from Donna and Harvey's condo. The mother and son sit at a circular concrete table like the ones at Dairy Queen. They lean in close to each other when speaking, and they whisper. FBI agents, having heard all the calls the day before, are nearby trying to listen in. The nearest agent is sitting on a bench 40 feet away from Donna and Charlie. He has an audio recording device, and it's aimed in the Adelsons' direction. Unfortunately, it's impossible to pick up the conversation. They're simply speaking too quietly. At 1:30 p.m., Donna and Charlie get up and head on foot back toward the Icon building. Donna goes up to her condo, and Charlie drives an hour to Sunny Isle Beach. That's where Katie Magbanua has a new job at a realty company. When Charlie arrives, Katie gets into his car, and they talk there for about 10 minutes. Then they exit the car and they walk over to a cafe in a strip mall. The cafe is called Dolce Vita. Katie and Charlie sit in the back of the restaurant. An undercover FBI agent followed them inside. He sits down at a table across from Charlie and Katie. In a few minutes, another agent enters. Each agent carries a laptop bag. Inside their bags are recording devices. One of them records a grainy videotape of Charlie seated on one side of a table, Katie on the other. Unfortunately, the audio the agents capture is nearly impossible to decipher. But later on, after other agents work on the audio, they're able to determine that Charlie told Katie this about the blackmailer. He said, quote, "You call him on the phone. All I want you to say is, I got a call from some friends who said that you mentioned my name. Do not contact these people again, or they're gonna go to the police," end quote. Charlie also advises Katie to deny knowing anything, but to agree to pay the blackmail demand as, quote, "charity to help the less fortunate," end quote. Charlie explains to Katie that paying someone off is not an admission of guilt. The FBI agents pick up what they think is Charlie saying, if it's the police, they can't take the money and won't even come to meet you. They effed up. If it's this guy, maybe that's, you better do him in because he's going to be a big problem. If you can't do it, I'll have someone else do it, end quote. He tells Katie his mother cannot be involved. He says, quote, problem is, if you give in and Mom meets him to pay, what happens next month when he needs help again? If it's the cops, she's guilty as hell. Charlie and Katie leave the restaurant and they both head home. Charlie then calls Donna once again. He tells her, quote, everything's good, end quote. But clearly Charlie is lying because everything is not necessarily good. Charlie, in my opinion, seems to engage a lot in magical thinking, just like he was convinced that the jurors would believe his story that Katie Magbanua and Garcia and Rivera extorted him. The next day, Katie pressures Sigfredo Garcia to find out who the blackmailer is and to call the number on the letter that the blackmailer handed to Donna. Although Katie told Charlie she'd call the number, she actually handed that scary task over to Sigfredo. But Sigfredo didn't want to call that number. Katie, however, harassed him until he agreed to make the call. But there was a problem with the last 4 digits of the phone number. Katie jotted the numbers down in a hurry, but now she couldn't decipher them. Now, fast forward to April 25th, 6 days after the bump took place. The FBI, who hasn't heard from anyone, not the Adelsons, not Katie, not Sigfredo, well, they decide to amp up the heat. They do this by dropping another letter in the mail, and it's addressed to Donna and Harvey Adelson. The note reads, my phone is not ringing, so you don't care about Tato and what he did for you. He knows he is effed, and soon so will you, end quote. There's no signature on the letter, but it's the first time that the name Tato has been interjected into the blackmail demand. The next day, Katie calls Charlie and she asks for the blackmailer's phone number. Charlie says he'll have to call Donna because he thinks she has the letter. So he calls his mom. She reminds him that he has the letter, and then he remembers that he has it, but it's at home, so he'll have to go and get it. It's a whole thing. Then, by April 27th, the FBI's letter arrives at Donna and Harvey's condo. Harvey is the one who opens it. Later, after Charlie called Donna and asks her, is Dad still upset about everything? Donna replies, yeah. He's not having the best day, end quote. Harvey opening and reading this letter and then not calling the police tells me, and this is just my opinion, that he knew about the crime. Charlie reassures Donna that everything is being taken care of and that someone actually called the blackmailer, so Charlie believes Katie when she tells him she called the number. Donna is relieved to hear this, but she's soon back to worrying when Charlie tells her that no one answered the phone. Back at the FBI, they could see that no one had called them, not even one time. On April 28th, the FBI decides to up the heat even more. This time they call the Adelsons Dental Institute, and they ask to speak with Donna. The undercover agent tells the receptionist his name is Sammy. He explains that he gave Donna some paperwork. The receptionist takes down Sammy's number and indicates that Donna is not available, but could maybe call him back. Minutes later, investigators listen in on another call between Donna and Charlie. Donna sounds really stressed out, and this is because the receptionist had just called her and told her about Sammy's call. Talk about a game of telephone. So the receptionist tells Donna that Sammy is very upset because he hasn't heard from her. Donna says to Charlie, so obviously I'm not going to call the number. What's your suggestion? End quote. Charlie goes over the phone number to make sure it's the same one that he gave to Katie. He's perplexed because Katie had told him that the number had been called. Charlie and Donna hang up. Charlie then tries to reach Katie, but she doesn't answer. Finally, she calls him back, And then what ensues is a 23-minute conversation filled with a lot of swear words. Charlie tells Katie what Sammy said. Katie replies that someone is pulling Charlie's bones. I think Katie meant to say someone is pulling your leg. Charlie gets mad and he says, "I'm just asking you to find out who the F it is." Katie is frustrated too. She reiterates that she called the number. Lie. Charlie then threatens Katie, saying, "Find out who the F it is, because the other phone call is going to be to the FBI. And then when they do catch the person, they're going to be asking him lots of questions about who Katie is." I think it's so bizarre that Charlie and Donna actually do think that they can call the FBI and somehow not be connected to the crime. I think they really think on some level that they're going to get away with it, that there's no connection to them, no real tangible evidence. So much for Katie being one of Charlie's best friends. Right here, he's ready to throw her under the bus. This makes Katie even more upset, and she tells Charlie she's going to handle it herself. Katie is now seething. She's also scared out of her mind. After Charlie hangs up, he calls his mom, Donna, back. At this point, Charlie says he thinks the blackmailer is either a private eye or the FBI. He says someone is trying to fish around and stir the pot and see how people react, end quote. Charlie was absolutely spot on. Then, as if Charlie realizes someone may be listening to them, Charlie says whoever was blackmailing them, quote, thinks they're going to, try to solve this case. And they think because we're the family that we had somehow something to do with it. So they're going to go ahead and and make some demands and see how we'll react, end quote. Charlie then says what was even odder was that, quote, they're not bugging Wendy because that would be the first person I would go to, end quote. At this point, Donna suggests that maybe Charlie might have a friend who can take care of the situation. This sounds like Donna's asking Charlie to maybe find another hitman. Charlie replies that that's what he's working on. But then Charlie changes gears and he says, I think what I'm going to do is call them up and see what they want, meaning call the blackmailers. And that's just what Charlie did. He dials the number and he talks to FBI agent Oscar Jimenez, who of course Charlie has no idea who he is. He thinks he's some guy named Sammy. Take a listen to this conversation.
We know Katie, we know Tuto, we know we've been taking care let me look at it. No more f***ing around, man. No more f***ing around. This ain't going away. Tato, you guys need to do the right thing for Tato. That's my brother, man. That's my brother, and he needs to be taken care of. His family needs to be taken care of, just like Katie and Tuto have been taken care of. I've never met these people, but let me call you back, okay? That's bullshit, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know this lady. I don't know your relationship with this lady, but we know what the f*** is going on. Take care of Tato just like you take care of Katie and Tuto, man. Let me call you back.
Charlie says he'll call the blackmailer back and he hangs up. He then immediately calls Katie Magbanua. Twice. She calls him back. An hour later, Charlie tells her about his conversation. He mentions how the guy mentioned a brother who is incarcerated, that he was with him in Broward. Charlie then asks Katie, is this guy incarcerated in Broward County? Is he from Broward? Those questions seem to say that Charlie knows something about Luis Rivera, a.k.a. Tato. Charlie says at this point he is not paying this person anything, and Katie agrees to call the blackmailer's number yet again. After Katie and Charlie hang up, she calls Sigfredo Garcia. She tells him what's going on. Garcia is now worried that the blackmailer mentioned him, Tuto, and Katie by name. Katie persuades Garcia to call the blackmailer. Garcia does finally call the number, but he gets the agent's answering machine, and he doesn't leave a message. This back and forth goes on for 2 more weeks, at which point the FBI decides to up the heat once again. By now, it's May 4th of 2016. FBI agent Oscar Jimenez, pretending to be Sammy, sends Donna Adelson a text message. It reads, "So you don't take me serious? You think I'm playing? You have some puta call me to see if I'm for real? If you think what Katie's baby daddy did for you can't come back, you're effing crazy. I want the money now or I'm going after the $100,000. End quote. Investigators were banking on the text leading to some evidence. They send agents to surveil Donna and Harvey's condo just in case Charlie shows up once again. And he does. Charlie shows up the next day for a visit. This time Harvey joins Charlie and Donna, and their conversation takes place in a remote area near the condo's private pool outside. And FBI agents are at the pool posing as potential condo buyers. The Adelsons huddle close together to talk. If this doesn't point to Harvey knowing about the crime, I don't know what does. Just my opinion. He hasn't been charged with any crime. What I'm saying is allegedly, and it's all speculation. The trio speak in whispers. The FBI agents can't hear a darn thing. Charlie then leaves to drive home. He calls Katie Magbanua to read the text to her, and then he calls Donna and instructs her to pay the $5,000 and to say, we'll pay this one time, but no more. Now, the next afternoon, Donna calls Jimenez. She dials the number, and for 8 minutes, she argues that she was in no way responsible for Dan Markel's death. She also says that she's not paying a dime. You go, girl. Donna is the one in the family, I'm telling you, with the balls of steel. She's not afraid to tell the blackmailer off. It sounds like she no longer thinks Charlie knows what he's talking about, and she decides to take the bull by the horns, so to speak. Donna encourages the blackmailer to go to the police and get the $100,000 reward. Donna, who's age 66 at the time, wasn't about to be bullied. She doesn't even yield an inch. But at the end of the call, she says, I'll call you back, which of course she never does. No one else does either, by the way. In the end, it didn't matter because the Tallahassee PD and the FBI knew exactly what was going on, and they were about to make their first arrest, and that was, of course, Sigfredo Garcia. Until the next time, on Bed Crime Stories.